Hi guys, Samantha here and welcome back to my channel. And before we get started with this quick little speed build, just want to remind you guys that I was given this a pre-release copy of Sims 4 Cat and Dogs from EA. So thank you to them for allowing me access to it so that I can make videos for you guys. And if you guys don't know, I've been going ham today on the Sims 4 Cat and Dogs videos. You gotta admit, give your girl props. I know. So anyway, I was so inspired by the build by mode items from the new expansion pack, which comes out, I think, on the 10th. Golly, don't quote me on that one, but I think it's on the 10th. I don't even remember at this point. But I was so inspired by them, I decided I wanted to build a house. And it's also inspired by my new LP that I just started today, centered around cats and dogs. And I needed to have like a nice little starter home for the newlyweds that was kind of affordable and kind of something that they can kind of grow into as they potentially grow their family, because we don't know what's yet to come. But I also was inspired by the town of Brindleton Bay, and thank you. I got it mispronounced, and I saw a comment right before I started recording, as a matter of fact, saying that I was butchering it. But you guys gotta realize I'm from the dirty South, okay? So I got like a little Southern drawl. So in my mind, it looks like Brindleton. See how I have to struggle to say Brindleton Bay, but I say, I don't know, Bridleton Bay. It just comes out. You know what, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, I was inspired. I haven't had a chance to really like explore the world as much as I would like to, because I would love to do a lot of that in the actual LP that I'm working on. But I did kind of get a vibe that this town is very, well, of course it's coastal. It's very maritime. It has like a lot of rich old heritage and stuff like that. So I was wanting to kind of, on top of the city or the land rather, like just the way the land flows, and then a particular item in the build by mode, which was this window seat. It was like a not octagon, but it was like a tri-seated window seat that kind of had, yeah, you'll see it in a minute. Because of that, I knew I needed to make a build that was centered around that piece. I know that's crazy. I was so in love with that piece. I was like, I have to make something where I can use it. So came up with this idea to kind of do like a lighthouse that's kind of been renovated into a home, or not even like maybe even renovated, but maybe something that looks like a lighthouse that kind of fits in with the area and the house and surroundings and everything. So I really wanted to focus on that and use as much as possible from the new expansion pack. So hence, here I am trying to get it together. And y'all, I am going to tell you, I'm not telling you no tale. The build by mode, okay, we're about to show. Yep, there it is right there. That seat right there. That was the one that started it all. I was like, I need it in my life. I don't know why it took them so long to get us a seat like that. And then I realized a couple of weeks ago, I saw on Twitter that they released more roof styles. So now we have the octagonal, the pentagonal type roofs. So now you can do those type of windows and those type of bays, and you could kind of probably recreate that anyway, even if you don't have that. But now you can kind of make that happen and actually have the right roof, because I've tried to recreate it myself and it doesn't look right when you try to mesh the roofs together to kind of make an octagonal shape. So anyway, saying all that to say, I was thrilled that we got that seat and we got the new roofs, and I was just like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So right here, as you guys see, it's kind of frozen. Yeah, I had like a little technical difficulty at that particular point. So save often. So unfortunately, my game crashed. I don't have any mods in my game right now, but I guess because of the, I don't know what was going on at that time, but I have been in my game for a long time. So I guess at that point, my game was just like, I'm done. But I did take all my mods out. So I'm just strictly dealing with base game items and all of the expansion packs I have, which I have all of them except for spooky stuff and the vampire one. So, you know, that's just something. And my phone is going off right now. But anyway, so long story short, that was pretty much my inspiration for this build. And I also wanted to make it like it had a loft. I wanted it to just have like you go upstairs and boom, you were in. Okay, let me cut this down. You go upstairs and then you just have like your bedroom area and everything's just kind of open and bright and a bunch of windows around, and stuff like that. So that is pretty much where my inspiration came from, and just trying to recreate something to that nature. So yeah, and then I think what I guess you could probably just kind of gather what I'm doing. I kind of did things a little bit backwards. When I normally build, I kind of just like build my structure and then I go back in and I add furniture and stuff. But I've had a really hard time lately of eyeballing the dimensions and the size of the rooms and stuff. So I'll make a house and then I'll go back in and be like, this room is way too big, or this room isn't big enough. So I kind of did it differently this time. I knew how I wanted the kitchen to feel, and I knew how I wanted the dining room to feel. So I kind of like placed the furniture and the cabinets and stuff in there at that time. So that way I can just kind of see what my dimensions needed to be. And because I'm trying to keep it small. Originally, when I started this build, I was trying to keep it around 20,000. So it was going to be a starter home. But the more I started playing around with the stuff, the more inspired I became. And the more I was like, no, I want to do more. So I went on and just went all out and I blew my budget. To be honest with you. So, but that's okay. Because if I use it in my LP, I'm just going to probably take a lot of stuff out and just kind of like fix it so they can afford it. But as far as you guys, if you want to download this, it will be in the gallery as soon as I'm able to put it in there. I tried to save it to the gallery earlier and I kept getting error messages. So I don't know if it's because the pack's not out yet or what the situation is. So as soon as I'm able to release it, I will do so. But anyway, so I like to kind of mess with the roofs too while I'm building so that I can kind of like get a feel, because roofs are not my strong point. And I ended up coming across a peculiar problem while I was placing the roof. So I really wanted the bedroom loft area to have like something to look over into that little bay window. So I put a half wall thinking, okay, I could put a half wall there if they want to stand over it and look down, or let's say someone's downstairs and they want to holler down to them or whatever, then we could do that. And so, but I ended up having issues because every time I put that half window in there, the half wall in there, the roof went through the room, which you're going to see in a minute. I'm just going to be like, what? So I tried to keep recreating the roof just to get the feel that I wanted. And eventually I realized it's because you can't put a half wall and a roof on the same, what I'm assuming is you can't put a half wall and a roof on the same level. It would have to be up higher. So I don't know if that's something that's supposed to happen, but you guys can see the roof is in there, and I'm just like, what in the world am I supposed to do about the roof inside the house? But you get a chance to see like the basic shape of the house, and here I am now just trying to figure out how I can recreate the roof without having the roof be in there. But even that roof, see, got stuck inside there. So I was just like, what in the world am I doing wrong? So trial and error, ended up figuring out the reason why was because I had that half wall. So I don't know if that's like common or not. I've never really done a build like this where I had a half wall and I had multi layers like this. And I really wanted to play around with different roofs and kind of have like different levels. And just from the outside, it just looks totally, and see, that's when I figured out, because I ended up putting the wall up and I was like, okay, so that's the reason why. So then I was going to backdoor it. I was like, well, I'll put the roof up first and then I'll change it back to a half wall. And then it plopped up in there again, which you'll see in a second. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. I love those windows in the back. They're not even windows, but they're kind of like open type screen. I don't even want to call it screen areas, but they make the patio open but covered at the same time. So I ended up using those in the back because I wanted them to have like a little area to kind of sit out and kind of enjoy. That was me saving. But anyway, have them sit out and be able to enjoy the greenery. This particular lot is gorgeous. It's like kind of offset, away from the town, and it's like surrounded by grass and trees and, just overgrown, rocks and stuff. Well, not overgrown rocks, but, just overgrown foliage and stuff like that, as you guys can see on the background. So, I just thought it'd be pretty to be able to sit out there and read a book and enjoy, the views and the birds and stuff like that, because there's a bunch of birds and stuff running around the world, and of course there's like the strays and everything like that. So I just thought that that'd be really nice. And I ended up using the fence from the cats and dogs too, to kind of like give, see how it's doing it again. That's when I was just like, you know what, it's not worth it, I'm just gonna leave it. I ended up using those same windows that I did in the back, to kind of still give it an open area so that someone can still kind of look down there if they wanted to. And I do like how it came out, but I would have rather the half wall, but you know, at least I got a chance to use them again because I did enjoy them. So it's going to have 1.5 baths. So here I am working on the upstairs, I guess you could call master bath. I ended up putting a full shower in there because from what I understand, which I haven't had a chance to do it yet because I'm still playing with the pack, you can give your animals baths in a bathtub. You can give your pets baths in the tub. So I felt like, okay, if this is going to be like a dog lover, you know, house or whatever, which I ended up making it a dog lover's house or a dog owner's house rather, because I don't want to like put a label on the poor person. But anyway, when I end up making it just a dog owner's house, I feel like, okay, she needs a shower. She needs like a bath so that she can actually give him or her a bath. So that's pretty much it. So here I am trying to make the living room. Like I said, it's a really cozy house. I love how it came out. It's so cozy and it's very just close. Like if you have guests or it's intimate, you know, it's like everything is just like right there. So it's almost like to a fault because you might feel like a little like limited with how much stuff you can put in here. But I felt like for what you need, because you're surrounded by all this beautiful scenery and grass and, you know, trees, you could go explore. Like, why sit inside the house? Go inside the house, do what you need to do, and then come outside and enjoy the world. You know what I'm saying? So that was my mindset when I was doing it. So I actually ended up messing with the new wall stuff too, to kind of make the front of the little lighthouse area I was trying to recreate a little bit different texture. And then I did the back with just regular white paneling. I like how the white paneling looked kind of like old reclaimed wood, if that makes any sense. You know, something that maybe they just got from nature and they decided to make a house with it. It's got like a very rustic vibe to me. So I would definitely wanted to take advantage of that. And then I realized I had that beautiful roof up there and I was like, I need to put a window up there. And if your windows aren't like spaced, I mean, if your roofs aren't spaced enough, some of these windows you can't use. So anyway, I ended up using one of the square windows that we got with the game pack. So I felt like that looked really nice to kind of just like give you a little extra something from the outside. I guess when I'm dealing with building my houses, I love to look at them from the outside and spend as much time as possible from the outside to have that curb appeal, you know, so that way when you go inside, it's easy, but the outside is like just to make it like, wow, that's gorgeous, you know. So that was definitely something that I wanted to stay on top of. And I love all the new wallpaper and the new wall. I guess all of it's like wallpaper because it's not really any paint. Because I like the textures and the way the wood paneling and stuff looks on it. So I did use it as much as possible, but there was a point where I was just like, okay, it's going to be overkill. So I tried to kind of play with the different wallpapers just to kind of have them play off each other, but just not be all the way just like one type of wallpaper. And I particularly like the higher, like the one that's in the kitchen right now, because when the cabinets are up against it, it looks like it's just wood paneling as far as having the paint in the wood paneling. So I liked how that looked. And I decided to do like the greens and the blues because, and like the creams, because I wanted it to kind of mimic like the seaside, like, you know, with the greenery and the sea green and stuff like that. So I was trying to make sure that I kept that theme throughout the entire house. No, the only thing that I wish I would have done it, because remember when I told you guys when I first started, I was trying to keep it at a certain budget, and then it got to the point where I was just like, no, I'm not going to even worry about it. So of course, when I did the bathroom fixtures, I ended up going with the cheaper end, and I didn't use any of the beautiful cat and dog stuff that we got. Like, I love that set, but it is so expensive. I mean, high end expensive, if you get what I'm saying. So I ended up not using any of those, but if I had a chance to do it over again, I probably would go in and add those. But honestly, I didn't think about it until after I started taking the screenshots and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I should have totally put those nice the bathroom fixtures in there, but that's okay. Everything else though, I pretty much used almost all cats and dog stuff. A couple of things I didn't, like the bookshelf there, but the curtains I did. Well, not the TV because we didn't have any TV stuff, but the main gist stuff. And then of course the kitchen stuff. So I guess I didn't use everything, but I think the kitchen was from I don't know if it was from, oh gosh, I forget what the kitchen stuff was from. But you guys, if you download it in the gallery, it'll definitely tell you what the packs and stuff will come from. But I ended up using stuff from Dine Out. I think it was Parenthood. I used the kitchen cabinets from, I think that came from Parenthood. Of course, base game stuff. I think I even used Spa Day stuff, like for some little wall fixtures and stuff like that. But the main stuff, like the light fixtures, the furniture, the roof, not the roof, I'm sorry, the exterior paint, stuff like that was all cats and dogs stuff. So like I said, I love how it came out. I love our new curtains. The only thing I hate about the ones that's pulled back is there aren't any solid colors. They're like strictly for like kids' rooms. So I struggled because I really wanted pulled back curtains like that, but I couldn't find any solid ones. So I ended up using those. And I think those are from Luxury Stuff. I think, but I might be wrong. But like I said, when you go download in the gallery, thankfully the gallery will kind of show you what packs I used so you can not have to play the guessing game, right? So anyway, so here I am just kind of like placing my floor, and I really wanted to break up the dining room floor from the living room floor. So I changed the orientation of it. It's something that I like to do. I don't know. So it just looks like, I know it's the same flooring, but your eye kind of it dances around it differently, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I changed the orientation, and the way you could do that is just hit your open bracket or your closed bracket. Is it bracket? The little greater than, less than symbol. You could just do those and it'll change it out. So I had the hardest time with my staircase because when I first placed it, it was white. Then it ended up turning this grayish black color. I have no idea why. So I kept trying to mess with it. It wouldn't work. So I just said, bump it. But I wanted to try to do like all white, white doors, white rails, white, everything like that. But I ended up changing everything to like more of a cream color because to me, the cream looked a little bit more aged. It looked a little bit more dated. So then it'll give the feel like this is an older, building that possibly may have been went in and renovated, so at least that's the vibe that I was getting from it. So here I am doing the dining room. I really wanted a full dining room and I thought that this was big enough, but it wasn't. So I ended up just doing 4 chairs and then I had to just kind of like center everything because it kept interfering with stuff and giving me that bright red. Why does it seem like that's brand new? I don't remember it being that bright red before. Like when you would come up on something and it'd be like, no. I don't remember it being that bright of a red before, but now it just seems like it's like in your face, like stop it, like quit it. I don't know. That's maybe that's me. I just never paid attention before, but that's what it looks like to me at this point. So here I am taking advantage of that beautiful little entryway. Like I don't even know. I call it a pit stop. That's what I do because we have one here at our house. And I'm like, pit stop, drop your stuff off, drop your book sacks off, drop your keys, whatever. So I love that little piece. I'm glad they gave us that. I wish though that you can like place them together. I know with move objects on you can, but I honestly, and I've said this before, I don't like using move objects on. And it's not because I don't know how to use it, because I know people will automatically be like, well, you don't know what you're doing, so that's probably why you don't like it. No, that's not it. It's just that I've noticed if I don't keep move objects on, then when I play slots or when I replay slots, things are floating, things are missing, things are like all over the place. And then move objects almost makes you forget that some things aren't really accessible, because I'll have move objects on and I'll be placing things and I'll be like, oh, everything's fine. And then when my sim goes to try to use it, they're waving their hands up in the air and I'm like, oh, I forgot move objects was on, so I got to fix that, So it kind of like gives you a false sense of security. That's a better way of putting it. So I don't like to use it. I don't. Not unless I'm trying to layer items like on shelves or whatever. But that's very rare. So other than that, I just kind of like to work with the confines that I have. But I know some people love move objects on. They constantly build and move objects. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But just personally, I just don't. So if it gets to a point where I can't do something, I'll just reshift it or rejig it or just scrap it. Like with that particular set downstairs, I really wanted to use those upholstered chairs, but I was like, scrap it. They're too big. I just can't do it. So here we are in the loft bedroom area, which, like I said, I wanted it to be open and airy. I would have liked to put more windows, but I was like, again, trying to think about the budget. Those windows are really pretty, but they get kind of costly once you start trying to layer them and stuff. And I really wanted to put some curtains, and then I realized that just looks weird over the bed. So I ended up moving the windows. How many of y'all do that? Like if the windows don't look good they might look good from the outside, but from the inside they don't, or vice versa, then you change the mugs out. That's what I do all the time. So these are some paintings that came from Cat and Dogs too, and I love those paintings, but I end up switching them out because Dine Out has like a sailboat. I want to say it's like a wrought iron sailboat, like a fixture, like a metal one, and I end up seeing that later, and I didn't even realize I had it. That's when it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I feel like this experience playing without my mods and stuff. I'm just strictly base game. I feel like I'm appreciating the game a lot more because I didn't realize, like, I was making my Sims and I was like, oh my gosh, I got options. Like, I really did have options. And then I'm in here building and I'm like, I really have options. Like, we really have like a lot of stuff. And I don't know if it's because of the accumulation over the years of buying the stuff packs, the expansion packs, whatever. But, you know, this was the first time that I was just kind of like, okay, I could probably not play with mods. Maybe. But we'll see. We'll see. As of right now, I'm just kind of like, and then my game runs better. I don't have the little glitches, the MC command mod glitches popping up and stuff like that. So it's almost like I might could do this in real life. I don't know. But I was very impressed with the amount of stuff that I have now, the accumulation of Sim stuff that we have. So I like it. I'm enjoying it. You know, I really am. And I'm like, this is a good experience to just be able to just play base game and just hang out and enjoy it. So I wanted to put that at the edge of the bed, but it wouldn't go. And like I said, I didn't want to deal with move objects on. So I put it across from the bed, but it's just like a little extra storage thing. I thought about after the fact, I could have put a dresser, but you know, the only place I probably would have put it was where I put the little ottoman, the little bench, the bench seated thingy. So that might be something you can go in and change out later on. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but I was so focused on just making it airy and open. You know, I wasn't like, yeah. So after the fact, I was like, why didn't I put a dresser there? Anyway, so here I am just kind of going through and just like tweaking some things. I found the pet bed and I was like, oh, I forgot it. This is going to be a dog lover, a dog owner's house. So I needed to put a pet bed in there, which the dog I created for the lot was an Alaskan Malamute. So he's like way too big for that bed. So depending upon what size dog you get, you might have to change out the bedding. And I loved using these curtains. I think they're base game curtains. They're not even curtains. I'm sorry. They're balances. I loved using those because they kind of hid underneath the cabinet so you couldn't see the rods, and I just liked how it looked. The texture of it just looks exquisite to me, but of course I might be biased because it's me, you know. So anyway, here I am just like adding some clutter and stuff to the cabinets, and because I feel like that always adds to your kitchen when you have clutter, but you always want to keep a little bit of space so your Sims could cook, because if not, they'll be complaining about they don't have nowhere to prepare their stuff. So, you know, she has like a little counter space to cook, but you don't need too much anyway. So anyway, theoretically, I would hope she would cook something and then go place that plate on the table and go eat. And then, you know, it's all good. So, you know, it's nothing. It's neither here nor there, you know. So anyway, so here I am just trying to like put some wall fixtures on the wall just to kind of help get something on the walls, because, you know, the walls are kind of bare. And then I realized, oh, I got this from Dine Out and I've never used it before. So I decided to put that up. And then in here, I was kind of like, I really wanted to put that cabinet that we got. It was like a china cabinet. It fit, but it looked cramped in there, and I didn't want to have any issues. Even without move objects on, it just looked super cramped. I really like that little netting, the little nautical netting, but I couldn't figure out where to use it. So that's why I took it down. But I really wanted to use it, but it just looked cramped. So I ended up not using it. But I ended up making like my own little cabinet, which you guys will kind of see later on. And then I found this and I was like, hello, if this is supposed to be like a Lighthouse inspired something, I should totally put that in there as decor. I love it. I love it. So that's another good piece from this set, the little ship wheel, I guess you can call it. So here I am just trying to put something on the walls in this bath and dining room, and that's when I realized I can use one of these pantries that come with the kitchen set and make it like it was a china cabinet or something. So I ended up doing that. I had to tweak it though, so it took me a little while to kind of figure out how to tweak it. Of course, again, without move objects on. So I hold my Alt key down, and if you're on the Mac, it's the Option key. And you just kind of like slide it around. It goes off the grid a little bit. You just kind of slide it around until you get the little green, like, hey, everything is good to go. So that's what I did. And then I just kind of layered that on top. If you had move objects on, you could probably do a little bit better with it. And also you could put some stuff on there. I tried to throw some stuff on there. I couldn't get anything that would fit on there. So if you had move objects on, that would be beneficial, because you probably could put something in that little slot and have it like, you know, an extra little storage thing. So, so here I am just trying to put some more stuff in here. I ended up putting a Dine Out, it's like a little napkin salt and pepper shaker on the table, because I wanted to do a greenery, but then I was just like, I like this better, so I ended up doing that. So I don't know. I'm all over the place. Sometimes I'm like, I'll be fixated on certain aspects of my build. Oh, that's when I found the sailboat. And I was like, what? I got to use this thing. So of course you see me frantically running around trying to figure out where I can put it. And that's when I realized I can put it over the bed. That'll be perfect. So anyway, I move all that over and put it over the bed. So basically, it's so funny because when you're building and you start going through stuff, you're like, wait a minute. And then I found the bookshelf and I was like, I should use that bookshelf as opposed to the one that hangs on the wall. But then I realized it was just going to make it way too cramped and way too complicated. And I really liked where the ship's wheel was, because when you first walk in the house, that's like you see the stairs and then you see the ship's wheel. So I really liked how that looked. So I ended up just scrapping the whole bookshelf, but I do like that bookshelf. Had I made it a little bit wider, maybe I would have used it. But being that I was confined to that, I had already committed to that size house, then I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. So here I'm just adding some more stuff on the walls. And then I realized I need to go put my rail on my stairs, which I'll do that in a second, because I thought it was on there, but I don't know. Every time you mess with the walls and stuff, you know, stuff ends up shifting and getting deleted. And oh, and little quick note, I don't know if you guys noticed, behind the stairs, I backed the extra bathroom up. So there's like a powder room right there it's like underneath the stairs, but there's like a little, like maybe a 1x2 like a 1x2 square, or I don't know what you want to call it, a grid that hangs outside of it, so that way I can just have like a little extra space. But you might could squish everything down into you might could, so basically it's a 2x2, but you might could squish everything into 1x2. I know people have before, but I wanted to have room to get in there and turn around, so I did not have any issues. But I like the fact that you could use under the stairs for like extra space, as opposed to just having like it be blocked off and just be like whatever. So yeah, so that's pretty much what I did right there. So I think here, I'm putting another rug. I thought I had put a rug there earlier, but apparently it wasn't. But I love those little straw rugs because they look like old rope that maybe somebody intertwined and weaved in together to kind of make a rug. So I like how that looks. So I guess, let me see what else. Okay, I think right here we're just kind of putting some extra windows because I really wanted that bathroom to have like an airy open window feel. So I just decided to do some little windows on the corner. I like those square windows. I know we have some already in the game, but I don't know. I like those. So then I'm trying to putting a painting in there just to have something for you to look at while you use the restroom. I don't know. And then I put a trash can in there just because. So now it's time to do the outside. I am in love with the trees that we got. And it's so funny because we actually have those white bark trees. We actually have those in Alaska. We have a lot of those. And it's funny, I didn't realize until I was driving to go pick up my kids from school, and I was looking around and I'm like, we got a ton of those trees here. But anyway, so I wanted to do the greenery outside. I always just like to frame my entryway and just like frame around the house. I kind of do the same thing over and over when I do. But you know, I do like these new, I guess, bushes, these little green leafy bushes that we got. I think they're really, really pretty. And I decided to add some texture with the flowers just to give it a little different color. And that pastel color up against that mint green is just, oh. But anyway, so I'm going to finish these up. And then after this, I have the screenshots. I love how it came out. And again, it will be on the gallery. My origin ID is SamGibbyB. It is in the description box. So if you guys want to grab it, I definitely will have it out there for you. And let me know what you think down in the comment box. And let me know if you enjoyed this build. I have a handful of more in my head that I want to try. But, you know, I just don't know if everybody's feeling, especially I don't want to inundate you guys with a bunch of pets, cats and dogs videos, and it's still, you guys still might want to see, you might want to see it for yourself and just kind of like enjoy it for yourself. So anyway, check out the screenshots. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.